Hello everyone, TARDIS Scarman 123 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Pyramids of Mars. This is a Tom Baker episode from his second season, and it's quite popular among Doctor Who fans. I think some people would rank it their top favourite Tom Baker story, and some people in their favourite Doctor Who story. Now, I do like it, but it's not my favourite, but it is pretty high up there. I do have ones I like better, like the Ark in Space for example, and Terrible Zygons, but anyway, so yeah, on to this story. So basically, it's set in 1911, so before World War One, just a bit, and basically, the idea is that Sutekh, which is kind of like an Egyptian god, but really just an alien race called the Osirans who visited Earth and basically fell into myth and legend as the Egyptian gods. And he was imprisoned by the other Osirans. And there was and on Mars there's a transmitter which is keeping him there. And when Professor Scarman finds him in Egypt, he basically takes over his mind and orders him to build a rocket so that he can destroy the the transmitter so he can be free. And yeah, that's basically the whole setup of the story. So let's begin with the atmosphere, I think, because this is quite an atmospheric story. It's not the most atmospheric, but I think especially the scenes inside Sutekh's tomb and whatnot are very atmospheric, like loads of dark colours and whatnot, and the green is just, I think it's very good. But yeah, and some of the scenes inside the house are, some of them aren't. I think especially when Servant of Sutekh comes through, I think that's done very well. Very good scene. So yeah, that's that. Now, Sutekh himself is a very good villain, despite not moving much. That's kind of like a flaw of the episode, that he only gets to move right at the end, but still, I think that means, because of that, you need a very good voice to play him, and I think they got a very good actor. His voice is very good, very menacing, and yeah, I think that kind of like makes the villain of this episode, really. So yeah, and there's more about Sutekh that I'll get onto towards the end. But first, I want to talk about the concept of death in this episode. Now, I think every single supporting cast member dies, which is a bit gruesome, a bit unusual, but I think it shows the high level of risk, and they die. They're dead. They don't come back, which I mean is something that has kind of been lost in more recent episodes of Doctor Who. Yet here it is very real, and some of these characters we get quite attached to, like Scarman's brother. He dies in quite a sad way, and yeah, it's just, and the Doctor and Sarah get close to death quite a few times as well. So yeah, it's quite a good story, I think, in terms of that. It shows death as very real. It's not a joke, and it takes death very seriously, I think. So yeah, that makes it a good story for that. Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen are as good as ever, I think. Tom Baker really does get a good job of showing the level of threat there is. And I mean, he does get angry at Lawrence Scarman. Is that it? Lawrence Scarman? I can't remember which one's which. But he does get angry. Yeah, it is Lawrence Scarman. Marcus Scarman's the other one. The fella who got killed. Who got taken over by Sutekh and basically killed. Yeah. And I think he often says, going back to the death concept, that your brother is dead, that man walking out there is kind of like just someone using your body and using his body and whatnot, and yeah, he's very serious about that. And one great scene that I love is when basically Lawrence Scarman's dead, and the Doctor and Sarah find him in the house. And Sarah's kind of like, you don't seem human, a man has just died, and the Doctor says, 3 men, Sarah. 4 if you count Professor Scarman himself, and that's just a wonderful scene, I think. It really does show the concept of death, and it's very well acted by Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen, and very well written as well. So yeah, the supporting cast are great, I think, despite all of them dying, but they don't really do bad in the death scenes. I don't think any of them really, they don't really get a not kind of like non-proper death scene, but a non-screen death scene, quite a few of them. Just kind of like see, for example, Lawrence Scarman, you just see the mummy advancing on him and whatnot. The servant at the house, you just hear him scream. The gameskeeper, he just gets, whatchamacallit, he gets quite a gruesome death actually, the gameskeeper. He hardly does anything in the stories. Not there for any particular reason, but, I mean, he does get quite a gruesome death with the two mummies just literally get him in between them and crush him. It's not kind of like blood and gore, but it's just the concept of it's quite gruesome, really. So, yeah. Then we get to Mars. Now, you do kind of like have this CSO Sandy effect in the background, and I don't really know what they were trying to achieve with that. And it is very distracting. I don't think it works too well, to be honest. And I mean, it's okay. It's not too bad when it's in the background of the scenes, and you just kind of like see it behind the pillars. But there's one scene where it is literally the whole part when they're getting to the transmitter control thing. Then literally the whole set is just CSO'd on, and it's just that wavy sound effect, and it doesn't work, to be honest. So yeah, what's that? Another good part about the Mars scenes, though, is where kind of like all the tricks and traps and whatnot, all the challenges that the Doctor has to face, they're quite good. Especially the one where Sarah gets stuck in the tube and he has to press the right button. And yeah, the solution to that is just ingenious. So yeah, now, as I said before, going back onto the topic of Sutekh's head, when Sutekh is free, his head kind of like changes to this, I can't remember what it's called now, this kind of like dog head. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact term of it in the Egyptian mythology, but it doesn't look good at all. It's just it's molded on there and then CSO'd onto his head, and it honestly doesn't work. It looks lopsided, it's distracting. The way his mouth doesn't move is also quite a bad part. So yeah, overall, not too pleased with that. I would prefer if they just left the helmet on. Left what's under there is more of a mystery, to be honest, because I think that would have worked better, because the head just doesn't look good at all. So anyway, so that's a couple of bad points about it, but the resolution's actually quite good, I think. I mean, some people like the first 3 episodes, but think it goes a bit off on the 4th, but personally I think it does fall down on the 4th. The 4th is probably the weakest, but it's not bad an episode, it's just a good episode with loads of great episodes. So yeah, and the idea of the time trap thing, I can't remember what it's called now, where it's kind of like the time factor, because the transmitter, what it had sent out, is still travelling. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So yeah, overall I think very good story, and yeah, highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. I think it's a classic worth watching. So yeah, thanks for listening to my review, and yep, hope you enjoyed.